Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, Maker Jane, where I share all things English paper piecing related, as well as some other fun things like unboxings and embroidery and applique. My name is Janie, and in this video, I've got a new unboxing for you. This is a subscription that I have been on the wait list for several months for, and I've been anticipating being able to actually get my subscription. This is my first month's subscription since being on the waiting list, and I'm really excited to share it with you. As an English paper piecer, I love scraps, and I'm not sure if there are any other fabric scrap memberships out there, but this is a fabric scrap membership. It is hosted by Cotton Cuts, and the package comes like this. You can see right there, it's coming from Cotton Cuts, and it's a monthly membership. It's called Snippet, and basically what it consists of is it's obviously a bag of scrap fabric that comes from their die cutting offcuts from the puzzle mystery quilt that Cotton Cuts puts on, I think, twice a year. So the puzzle mystery quilt is basically a kind of a block of the month, but it's a mystery quilt, so you don't really know what the quilt's going to look like as you're making it. You make each block each month, and you have the option of choosing one of many different colorways during that or for that puzzle mystery quilt. Well, this bag of Snippet is basically the offcuts. So Cotton Cuts die cuts all of the pieces for the puzzle mystery quilt, and all of the extra scraps from that, rather than throw those out, they realize, well, for scrap lovers who love working with scraps, why not create a monthly membership using the scraps as well? So that's what Snippet is. And we're going to go ahead and get into this in just a moment. Before we do, I want to give you a little bit more details on what is included, what's in the bag, and I will also give you information on how you can join as a member as well. So don't mind me, I'm just looking down to refer to my notes to make sure I get the information correct. As I said, the scraps are from the colorways that are offered in the puzzle mystery quilt, and because of that, the scraps are already going to be coordinating. So if you want scraps that are already going to go together, then you may want to consider joining this membership, joining the Snippet membership. So that's a big plus. As someone who likes working with scraps, I have yet to actually organize my scraps by color. I've started the process, but I haven't figured out a storage solution for that yet. So if you are a scrap lover and if you have figured out your own scrap storage solution, feel free to share it down below in the comments, because I am anxious to learn from you, and I'm sure other viewers of this video would love to hear your comments as well. So every Snippet member, so if you decide to become a member of the Snippet club or the Snippet membership, you will get one die cut scrap bag, which is what this is, from a recent puzzle mystery quilt. And the bag itself is gonna weigh between 13.5 and 15.5 ounces. So that's just under a pound of fabric. And that calculates out to be about 2.5 yards if it was continuous cut fabric. So if you were to go to the quilt shop, your local quilt shop or online or wherever, and buy about 2.5 yards of fabric, you would get about the same amount that's included in this bag. Sorry, there's a bird flying by and I just, it drew my attention. So this is about 2.5 yards of fabric if it was cut continuously. And of course, it's not cut continuously, it's in scraps. And it's not just one type of fabric, it is, multiple different colors and pattern of fabric that are all coordinating. So that's another really cool feature about this. You're not just getting one type of fabric in this bag. Also included in the bag is their collectible CC Color Challenge block. So we'll take a look at that in just a second, but basically they have it's kind of like a block of the month where they give you a block and cutting instructions and I think it includes the amount of fabric that you would need to make a certain size block. It may not. We'll take a look at it here in a second. And then the last thing in the bag is their signature Quilty Truth pencil. So every subscription that you join with Cotton Cuts, it doesn't matter what subscription it is, whether it's Snippet or another one of their subscription boxes, you get a pencil, and they always include, they call it a Quilty Truth, a cute little quote that's relating to crafting or quilting on it. And I think that's pretty cool. I'm always using pencils, and you can never have enough pencils in the sewing studio. So yeah, so that's what's included in the bag. And so for all of that, you get all of that for the cost of it, which is kind of the big question. The cost of this, which again is about 2.5 yards of scrap fabric, is only $9 a month. And if you're in the United States, it's only free shipping. So you don't even have to pay the shipping if you live in the United States, which is really cool. So you're getting about, what did I say, 2.5 yards of scrap fabric for $9. I think that's pretty good when you can only get about a yard of continuous cut fabric these days for almost $15. So, hey, I love it. And they're already in scrap form, so you don't even have to cut into yardage. You can just pull the scraps out and start working. And that's kind of something that's nerve-wracking for me, is like, if I'm going to be starting a project, like say an English paper piecing project, and I don't have enough scraps in the color that I want, I have to go to my fabric stash. And I kind of sometimes, let me know in the comments if you're the same way or not, but I kind of hesitate sometimes to want to cut into a fat quarter even. It doesn't even have to be that big. But I hesitate to cut into my fabric if I'm just needing a few pieces, because I don't know, there's something about, you know, if I'm going to cut into fabric, I want to use the fabric. I don't want to cut into it just for a few pieces. So that's another cool thing about Snippet, is they've already done the cutting for you. You don't even have to cut into the yardage, but you're getting about 2.5 yards of fabric in the bag. So pretty cool. If you're interested in joining Snippet, I will put the details below in the description. So be sure to check out that link when you're done with this video. And yeah, so that's it for the information. I've got my scissors here. We're gonna go ahead and cut into the bag and see what kind of fabric is in here for this month. Ooh, okay. All right, so the bag is empty, and here is the block of the month card. It's a little bit bent, as you can see, because obviously it was in a bag and not a box, so it got a little munched. But no worries, not a big deal. The block this month is just a number. It doesn't even give you the name of the block. I'm sure there is more of a traditional name. And some of you traditional quilters or quilters who've been around for a while probably know what the name of this block is. But they just number it. It's number 1021. And as you can see, it tells you, it tells you how many colors you need if you wanted to do this colorway. And it gives you a finished block size of 12 by 12 inches. So, and then it gives you measurements to cut for that measurement. So all of their blocks of the month are 12-inch blocks. And then on the back, we've got the block in a coloring sheet format, so you can color that in. And they also have a little contest online. If you are on social media, you can color in your card and post it on social media using the hashtag #CCColorChallenge, and you can enter to win a prize. And they do that every month. So if you're a member of more than one Cotton Cuts membership, you're going to get more than one of these, and you could have more than one chance to enter for that prize. So that's pretty cool. The other item I had mentioned was the pencil, and this month's pencil says Extreme Arts and Crafts. So let's get into the fabric, and I'll just show you what it looks like. It's wrapped in plastic, so it's protected from moisture if by chance anything happened in shipping where, you know, the package got wet, it is protected. They've got their logo as a sticker on here sealing the bag. So let's go ahead and rip that open. Actually, it didn't even rip. It just, ooh, you know what's nice? If you want to use the sticker for something, it peels right off the bag, which I really like that. I really like their logo. It's beautiful. It's colorful. All right, so we're pulling the bag off. We've got all these scraps. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of sort through them and just show you what the offcut or scraps from the die cutting looks like, just so you know what to expect when you get a package. All right, so the first fabric we have is this pink. It looks like a pretty, it's either a medium or large print. And basically this is the first piece. So you can see there's pieces that are sort of like strips. Then you've got these larger corner shapes, which would be great for like half square triangles or even larger English paper piecing shapes like hexagons, jewels, etc. You could fit probably a nice 1-inch jewel or smaller just within that triangle space. And you've got, it looks like 2 of those triangles there and then slightly smaller triangle. So you can see there's different thicknesses of strips just in this one piece. And it looks like there's another piece that maybe got separated from that one of the same fabric. The next fabric I'll show you, it looks like a batik. It's kind of a watercolor. And here is the whole piece shape. And again, there's lots of strips and some chunks that are more triangular. Actually, that's just a fat strip. This is mostly strip, so there's no real triangle shapes in that one. And here's another one. So we've got several strips in that colorway as well. Here's the next fabric. These are really cute. And again, they're coordinating, so they already go together. If you wanted to just go ahead and make a quick scrappy project, that's what I love this bags for, this membership for. So these are really nice strips. There is very little of this fabric in this bag. So this is the only piece of this particular fabric here. And I'm just looking here. What do we have? Oh, okay. So there's a bunch of other fabrics, and I'm going to show you here in a second. But I just noticed that there are a few straggler scraps that kind of got thrown into the bag. I'm not quite sure if they even go with this colorway, but one of them is this piece. It's a cream color with a little bit of a graphic illustration on it, just some dashed lines in different shapes. This is the only piece of this fabric. And then this other one is a white polka dot. And this is the only 2 pieces of this fabric. And then we will get back to the other fabric. So this is really pretty. This is a kind of a salmon-y, a dark salmon with a little bit of burgundy. Actually, that matches my shirt there. And it's actually metallic. So these little circles are have a sheen to them. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully that is going to focus for me. But there is a little bit of a metallic sheen to that. And there's quite a bit of this. So I'm trying to figure out how this fits together. Well, let me just drop one of them. Okay, so there's a wider piece, as you can see, that's mostly just strips. There aren't really any of those triangle shapes. And this is the same. So there is a little bit wider piece here. So that's one thing I wanted to point out is some of the strips are going to be fairly skinny. Like obviously this is pretty skinny, but I'm just noticing this is actually a fold. So it's actually double the width of that piece of fabric, which I would say is about 5/8 as we're seeing it right now. So if you unfolded that, that would be what, 1.25 inches. But you can see that there's varying width. So there's a section down here that's probably slightly over 3 inches if it's not about 3 inches wide. And it just depends, again, on the particular pattern that they're using for the puzzle mystery quilt. That will determine the shape of the scraps that are left over. So here's another piece. This is a beautiful dark black and purple fabric. And there's quite a few pieces of this. So this is the first one. And there is another one here. Let's see, these are mostly strips. So there's another larger piece. And then I'm seeing one here. Oh, it just looked like a triangle because it was folded that way. But there's some more strips there. So no real triangle chunks in that one. The last color fabric in the collection does have more triangle shapes, and I'm going to show you this one. As you can see, there's pretty large triangle pieces here, and then several strips as well. And this is a dark, I don't know if you can see that, it's a dark purple, and I think it might be a batik because it does have that watercolor effect. And there's one more piece that has these triangles along with the strips. Now, keep in mind, as I'm lifting these up, I forgot to mention that we're looking at multiple layers of fabric here. So I'm not just holding up one single layer of this shape in a scrap. There is actually, let's see if we can figure this out. So we've got, this right here is one layer, okay? So I'm unfolding it. And then it's folded over on itself twice. So there's actually 4 layers. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 layers of this shape folded over on itself. So keep that in mind. I know it doesn't look like a lot on camera. It's kind of hard to show all the layers of the fabric on camera. But the way that they cut their puzzle mystery quilt, obviously they want to cut as fast as they can. And the way to do that is to fold the fabric over itself so that you're not just cutting one copy. You're actually making, looks like 4 copies of the same shape, which is nice. There is one last little straggler fabric here. This is the only one of its kind in this particular bag. And when I unfold it, it comes to about 3 inches. And this is another batik. It's black with some polka dots on it that range from like a dark burgundy to a little bit of golden highlights, yellow highlights there. So this is the scrap fabric that comes in a Snippet bag. Once it's out of the bag, it kind of explodes. So my next job today is to wrangle this, and what I'm going to do, just to kind of show you how I organize these just real quick, I'll just use my packaging scissors because that's all I have right here. But I just grab a strip or a piece and I take a look at it from far away and, you know, try to decide, okay, how do I want to cut this up so that I can keep the largest pieces of fabric intact as possible. So as I'm looking at it right now, I'm probably thinking I'm going to make a horizontal cut right here so that I'll have this long strip on top, and then I'll make another horizontal cut right here. And then I'll do the same at the bottom. I'll make horizontal cuts all the way across so that I've got that long strip from the bottom. And then these center strips that go vertical, those will just be shorter strips. And as I said, some of these unfold. So this fabric is actually folded over on itself once. So there's 2 layers of fabric here that you're seeing. This piece is where the fold is. That's going to open up to a wider strip. And then the rest of them are, you know, the size that you see. Now this one's a little bit folded. So that's kind of the size that we're looking at for that particular strip. So that's what I'll do. And I'll just cut them all up as the best, you know, in the best way that I see fit. And then I'll take them to the pressing table, press them all. And actually, you don't even technically have to press them all, because if you're going to store them like I'm going to store them, which right now, these are my linen scraps, I just throw them in a bin. Yeah, so there's really no sense in pressing them right now because I'm going to have to press them later. So I just realized that. So I am going to go ahead and cut these, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw them into my little pseudo scrap organization system that I have right now. So again, if you have a scrap organization system that you would like to share with us, please let us know down in the comments below. How do you organize your scraps? Do you organize them by color? Do you organize them by fabric style? What do you store your scraps in? That's my biggest challenge right now, is trying to figure out how to store my scraps, what to store them in. I do have a fairly small sewing space, so I am a little limited on space, and that's kind of my big challenge at the moment. So I'm curious to hear if you have a system in place, what you use, and help us out. Let us know what you're using. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you will go and check out the Cotton Cuts Snippet membership. And once again, I put the link down below in the description so you can check that out. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep on quilting.